Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into what might be one of the most explosive documents in history, Thomas Paine's Common Sense.
From 1776, yeah.
And our mission is to zero in on his really radical, two-pronged attack on monarchy, challenging not just its legitimacy, but its whole religious morality.
And you have to remember, to do that, Paine knew he couldn't write like some lofty scholar.
Right.
He completely avoided that ornate, flowery style that was so common back then. He went for language that was direct, accessible, and frankly, scathing.
You wanted everyone to get it instantly.
Exactly. He wanted every colonist to feel the urgency.
And that accessibility is really what makes it so potent. He doesn't just criticize policy, he goes right for the core idea, this distinction between a king and a subject. He just starts with that simple premise. All men are created equal.
And if you start there, the whole system of monarchy becomes, well, absurd. It's a man-made hierarchy forced onto natural equality.
It's not natural at all.
Not in the slightest. He sees it as this completely artificial structure, one person ruling millions just because of their birth. To Paine, that's just not based in reason.
But, challenging tradition is one thing. Monarchy leans so heavily on this idea of divine right. So Paine had to go further, didn't he?
Oh, he went much, much further. This is where he launches this just shocking religious condemnation.
Okay.
He traces the very idea of kings, not to God, but to, quote, heathens.
So, pagan in origin.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he drops one of the most famous lines in the entire pamphlet. He calls monarchy the most prosperous invention the devil ever set on foot for the promotion of idolatry.
Wow. So he's not just saying it's a bad system.
No.
He's saying it's a satanic plot.
It's a tool for getting people to worship men instead of God. It's idolatry. And he knew that would hit home with his audience.
And he used scripture to back it up.
He did. He went right to the prophet Samuel and argued that the Almighty expressly disapproves of government by kings.
Right, because when the people asked for a king, they were rejecting God's direct rule over them.
Precisely. For a deeply religious colonial population, that is a devastating blow.
Okay, so if the system doesn't have God's blessing, how does it actually work in practice?
Yeah.
That was his next step.
Yeah, the practical side.
Yeah.
He argues that hereditary rule is just fundamentally pernicious.
Because it breeds incompetence.
And almost guarantees it. He says men who look upon themselves born to reign and others to obey soon grow insolent. You inevitably end up with the unworthy and the unfit in charge.
And he just scoffs at the whole idea that royal blood ensures stability.
He calls it a barefaced falsity. He has this brilliant line where he says, nature itself mocks hereditary succession by sometimes giving mankind an ass for a lion.
That's pretty blunt. And he brought the historical evidence too, right? Because the main defense was always that monarchy prevents civil wars.
Right. And Paine just pulls out the history books.
It says
England's monarchy, since the conquest, has seen 8 civil wars and 19 rebellions. So much for preventing instability.
it's the cause, not the cure.
The system itself is the problem.
So if you put it all together, what's his final verdict on the king?
He basically reduces the monarch's job to making war and giving away positions. The king's primary function, he argues, is to impoverish the nation.
So it's just a corrupt system.
He calls it the potpourri of government, a structure built on superstition and corrupt authority.
So here's the thought we want to leave you with. Paine traced the origin of kings back to, and this is his phrase, the principal ruffian of some restless gang.
The original gangster, essentially, the biggest bully on the block.
Exactly. So if Paine is right about that, if all that power really just started with brute force, then how can any institution that's based purely on inheriting that power ever truly claim to have a moral or divine legitimacy to rule over free people? That's something to think about.